Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to be part of the Altenew February 2019 blog hop, and Altenew is celebrating the release of a new scrapbooking collection. It's called Live Your Dream, and here's a quick look at all of the goodies in it. I want to give a big shout out to them for inviting me to take part in this. Thank you very much. Look at all of these beautiful goodies. Lots of florals, lots of leaves. These are clear stickers. There's also a pack of ephemera die cuts, all kinds of hearts and circles, labels, sentiments and phrases, a little banner. There are epoxy buttons with some gorgeous prints, some black puffy alphas, some chipboard stickers that mimic a lot of the die cuts, and then these gorgeous, gorgeous watercolor papers. I think almost every paper has a watercolor effect on it. Lots of watercolor flowers, different brush strokes, stripes, you name it. So pretty. And these watercolor flowers spoke to me because that is one of my favorite images to scrapbook with. And I immediately had to go for this paper here. And thank goodness there are two of each paper in this collection because I love the back side of this also. So I'm going to fussy cut these out, and this paper in particular, the flowers are, not whole because they are on corners and edges. So I'm going to make that work onto my background. Now this collection is perfect for those people who don't like to do mixed media layouts, but they like the look of it because almost every paper has watercolor effect on it. And so this would be great to get if you don't actually like to get messy. So here's my picture. It's my daughter in the pool, and you can see that there's a lot of open space on the picture on the left side. So I've got lots of space to kind of tuck the photo in or overlap it, and it's not going to, cover her up or anything. So I'm going to arrange these two big flowers over here on the left. I'm going to go ahead and add a dot of glue so they are stuck together. And then the other one's going to be in the lower right hand corner. So I'm going to move those aside and start to work on my background. I love watercolor papers, but part of the fun of making a layout for me is creating my own background. And so that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm using some clear gesso there on some thick, smooth white cardstock, and I'm just going to go for it. Everything is dry, the gesso, and I'm just going to spray some water down out of my little water bottle there, and then I pulled some shimmers from my stash. These are all different color ink sprays, and I just spray it directly onto the paper, spray some more water, and then just turn the paper this way and that way, and it's going to run and blend and do all the work for me. I don't have to use any plastic packaging or a brush. Just spray some water and let it run. And I'm using a couple different colors here to try to get the colors that are in those flowers. So I'm going for pinks, oranges, a little bit of purple, and then some navy blue because those are the main colors that I see there. Some of my sprays are yellow, and I'm just going to kind of try to mix those with the pinks. And again, I'm just spraying, adding water, and tilting it. And this is possible because of the gesso. A lot of people ask me why I use gesso or what the purpose of gesso is. And it's to sort of add a barrier between the liquid and the paper. Because obviously, if I was to spray it right onto the paper with nothing on it, it's going to soak right through immediately. The gesso prevents that from happening. And so when I tilt the paper and it runs and blends, the gesso is aiding in that process. And so I like to do a little bit on the background and then bring everything back on top of it and see how it looks and see, what steps I need to take further from here to add or to, do I need to stop? Is this enough? Or do I need to keep going? I'm adding in some purple there. Again, just turning it. I use a little napkin there to dab up some of the color, and then just continue to run and blend and tilt and just watch it. I think it's the coolest effect to just watch because sometimes you get the prettiest colors, and I love how you got the purple, it goes to pink, and then it goes to the orange, and sometimes I don't want to cover up the background because it winds up looking so pretty. And I promise you, this is not as complicated as it winds up looking. You see me making it here. It's spraying down and then tilting the paper and letting it run. That's all it is. And, you know, this is considered, I would consider this messy scrapbooking, but it's really not. It's all contained, and you just have to be patient and let the colors do the work for you. I added in a little bit of a gelato there to get a bit of a deeper orange color down there at the bottom. But you just have to be patient and let things dry a little bit, and it's so pretty. Look how it's finished. It's almost dry here. I'm going to put everything back on it, see how it looks, and I'm loving, loving, loving how it's looking. I almost decided to cut the outline on the right side of my daughter. I've seen a lot of people do that on layouts, and it looks so cool. I've never tried it where they actually cut the person out of the picture, and so it's an actual shape of the person. And I thought about doing that on the right side, and I go back and forth a couple times, but ultimately I don't do it. I added some navy blue splatters, and because I love those navy blue leaves. I think that's such a unique choice instead of green. It just makes it a little more dramatic and bold, I think. So I'm going to glue down these big flower clusters here. Look at that orange color. Gorgeous. I'm not even a huge orange fan, but when it's in flowers and it's with pink and yellows and purples, it's just gorgeous. All right, so you can kind of see the design that I'm going for here. Now, I'm going to start to play around with the embellishments. Now, I wanted to use some of these clear stickers, but my issue here was, since I've got so much color going on in the background, I feel like if I were to use any of these stickers, they would get lost or they would change color. I think those are best used on solid white. And something else you could do if you're making a background like this is you could stick those clear stickers to white cardstock and then fussy cut them out and then use them that way. That way they're going to stay true to their color. But if I was to stick one of those clear stickers on top of this bold pink and orange, it would change the color of them because they're see-through, if that makes any sense. So I try not to use those. Now, you can see here overnight I put my layout underneath some heavy paper pads, and it did wrinkle. You can see these wrinkles in there, but I like it. I think that it gives it some character and some more texture, and I think it looks cool. It's because it wasn't 100% dry when I laid those paper pads over it overnight, but it still flattened out my paper. But I added so much water to it that it did buckle a little bit, but not enough to make me worry about it. I'm just fussy cutting out a couple more of the smaller navy blue leaf clusters. I'm going to use those later on. And I finally decided what I wanted to tuck underneath the bottom right part of the photo. I wanted to use this paper. It's the back of the flowers that I cut out, and I'm just going to kind of go for it here and eyeball it and cut a big flower out. It's not even the same kind of flower that's in the pattern paper. I was mainly going for the colors. I wanted some variation on the pinks and the oranges, but I didn't want it to stand out so much that it distracted from everything or competed with it. So that's kind of what I'm going to go with. And here I go again playing with some of the clear stickers. I am going to use these here, and they are just outlines in black ink of leaves. And see, something like that you could use on color like this because it's black and it just looks like a stamp, or it looks like I drew it with a black pen. But I'm going to leave that very wonky flower that I cut out right there underneath the photo. So I was trying to decide what color thread to use. I love to add tangled thread, and I decided on the navy blue for this area here. Since I've got so much pink and orange, that navy blue thread kind of breaks it up and adds a little bit of darkness under the flower and in that area. And then over here I'm going to play around with pink. And I had to mess around with this because my fingers were sticky from glue and my thread was not wanting to cooperate. So I just put it aside for now. And then I got some darker pink and put it right here on top of that flower underneath the picture, because I'm going to add one of those little epoxy buttons on the center of that flower. Everything is so pretty in this collection because if you love flowers, you love watercolor, then you need to get this because it's truly gorgeous. And I spent a lot of time struggling with what to use because everything was so pretty. Here's one of the die cuts. It says Never Stop Smiling, and it's in orange ink. And I thought that that was a good sentiment to use on this layout since she is definitely laughing and smiling. So I just cut it so I could stack it over here underneath this flower. And it's white on white, and so it doesn't really take away from the flower or anything. I'm going to use these puffy alphas for my title, and I just decided on Pure Joy because that is definitely the look on her face. She loves being in the pool, and she's definitely enjoying herself. And so I'm going to go short and sweet and small with the title, and it's going to go right where you see it. I am going to add some glue just because things never like to stick to gesso, especially the clear gesso that I use, the Liquitex brand. It's kind of gritty. I'm going to use a couple of the chipboard stickers, 2 hearts, and again adding more glue to make sure they stay down, especially since my background did kind of get wrinkled. Things weren't sticking completely flat. Here comes more navy blue splatters. I'm really loving how this is turning out. I think the papers just do it. I mean, I would say it's impossible to create something that's not beautiful with these gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Love those. So I'm going to dab up some of those splatters. I think I'm almost close to being finished. I'm going to add in a couple of lines for journaling down here underneath the title. And I like to use my T-square ruler to make sure it's straight because there's a 100% chance that I will write downhill if I don't. But anyway, I'm going to add the journaling, and then that is going to wrap it up. I did add the date stamp after I turned the camera off down at the bottom. But yeah, there it is. I think this turned out really, really pretty. The papers, like I said, did all the work. Those colors together are, oh, so, so pretty. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you check out the blog hop. I'm going to list the blog hop order down below in my description so you can check it out. There's lots of prizes given away on lots of the blogs. Make sure you check out the Altenew blog and get your hands on this collection because it is stunning. I promise. It's even prettier in person. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks to Altenew for having me, and I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a great day.